My name's Barbara Talon, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to polish your PowerPoint presentations. Have you ever walked into a presentation and have somebody put up a slide like this, the agenda, and then proceed to go through point by point the items on the agenda? And you know you're going to be in for a long, boring presentation. This is not the way to kick off a presentation. The way you want to kick off a presentation is get the attention of the audience. Our presentation today is going to be all about visual impact and how to create visual impact with your slides. But first, let's talk about the basics. Before you even start working on your presentation, you really need to decide who is your target audience and what do they want? What are they expecting from your presentation? You want to make sure that every single slide on your presentation speaks to your target audience. The other thing you want to think through thoroughly is your objective. What do you want to happen when you're done with this presentation? Are you giving a presentation to a group of investors that you want to go into due diligence after this? Are you giving a presentation to somebody who you're trying to sell your product to, and do you want them to then install the product for a trial after this? Think about the objective, and that way you can make sure that every slide talks to the target audience and the objective. Now, the other thing you want to consider is the format. Different presentations have different formats. If you're giving a lecture, you've got a couple hours to get your point across. If you are giving an investor presentation with 20 other people that day, you've got 10 minutes to make your point. So the format is very important, and also what else is going on that day and how are you going to stand out from the crowd. So consider the format when you're building your presentation. These are the real basics of PowerPoint design, but I'm surprised at how many people don't understand just the basics, and that's what we're going to go through today. So what we're going to talk about is choosing a look, alignment, repetition, contrast. These are design basics. But then more specifically to PowerPoint is removing excess words, creating white space in your presentation, and the title and what should be in the title of each slide. You want to choose a look for your presentation, and if you work at a large corporation, this look will already be chosen for you. But you want your presentation to work with that look. For my presentation here, I took my website and took some of the elements from that. There are lots of places to go if you don't have a look already to come up with a look for your presentation. You can use elements and colors from your logo. You can grab PowerPoint templates from the Microsoft site. Go to websites that you like and see looks and elements that you could copy from those websites. Not copy per se, but emulate. Also look at brochures. Brochures are very good at making visual impact, so you can use ideas from those. One of the basics of PowerPoint is alignment, and this is a design basic. You want your eye to focus on what's important in the slide. So pick an alignment and stick with it. You're either going to do left, right, or center, and a lot of people do center. Center is not the easiest to read, so be very careful with center alignment. But pick your alignment and line all your components to that side of the slide. You want your slides to look pretty much alike from slide to slide. You'll notice in my slides that I haven't changed the borders or the basic formatting. And the reason for that is you want a smooth transition from slide to slide. Use the same color scheme, fonts, and design elements, and line thicknesses throughout. If you're doing multiple visuals within your slides, use those same elements throughout the slides. Contrast is very important in a slide. You need a focal point for each slide, and You don't want people's eyes to move around the slide trying to find that focal point. So pick a focus, pick a point that you want to get across in the slide, and use bold or large fonts to make that point. You will sometimes see people use red in text. It's dangerous if you're doing an investor presentation. Red connotes a loss. So you want to use red very sparingly. Remove all the excess words from your slides. If you're doing a 10-minute presentation, you've got 1 minute a slide to make your point. You do not want people to read. You need their focus on you. So if you have a lot of words on your slide, the first thing people do is start trying to read the slides. So make your point with as few words as possible. It'll keep your slides clean and keep the focus on you. A lot of people seem afraid of white space on their slides. There's nothing wrong with white space. It lets people focus on you and what you're saying. So remove excess lines and objects. I saw a presentation the other day that had pictures throughout every single slide, lots and lots of pictures. And it was very busy, and you couldn't concentrate on what the person was saying because you were too busy trying to interpret the pictures. So use white space to let the eye rest in between looking at the different parts of the slide. Put the point of each slide in the title. And the reason you want to do this is because it gives an immediate understanding of what the slide is about. When a slide first comes up, people are trying to figure out, okay, what is this person trying to say with this slide? If you put the point in the title, you've got an immediate understanding, and then you get to market your message with the rest of the information on that slide. So I pulled a couple of slides off the internet to see what people were doing out there with their visuals. And these are a couple that I found from pretty good sized institutions. These are not good slides. Here's another one that I duplicated. Have you ever seen slides like this, or have you ever done slides like this yourself? I have, I know. So you're basically using the standard Microsoft colors that they give you with the boxes, and there are so many things wrong with the slide. I won't go into too much detail, but you can take a slide like this and make it look very professional and clean. And the way you do that is by going through all of the things that we were just talking about. When you have graphics like this, you really want to make things clear. Make sure that your arrows go from left to right. That's how people read. So you want to make sure that that is the direction that their eye is moving across the slide. Don't cross arrows. It gets very confusing when you see those crossed arrows. Use color only for emphasis. So use the colors in your slide from the basic colors in your format, and then use other colors only for things that you want to emphasize. Use all the points that we just said: alignment, repetition, white space, and use meaningful shapes within reason. You'll notice on this slide how I changed the database into a database shape and the browser into a terminal shape. Those are some basic shapes that people understand. But if I use different shapes for each one of these, it would be very overwhelming. It's already an overwhelming slide. This is a bit more than you'd want to put on any single slide. But if you walk through it, it would make sense. Also notice that the colors are basically the same that are in the slide, except for the controller color, which I wanted to emphasize. The controller was really at the center of this slide. That's it for today. I've got a lot more resources in my binder on presentations that'll give you much more in-depth information on how to build specific presentations for a specific audience. Thanks for listening.